movie fans, you caught me dancing there. Yeah, that is a snappy little jingle we got there for Trending in Hollywood. Well, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I am Demetri Panos today. I am live without Annette or Scott Menzel for that matter, because Scott, well, he's got lots going on. The busiest man in Hollywood is working on the Hollywood Critics Association broadcast of tonight's 4th annual Hollywood Critics Association award show. Yes, 65 billion years in the making, the 4th annual Hollywood Critics Award show. He's putting the finishing touches on what should be a spectacular, great show tonight. And what's awesome about it is you who's tuned in now, and you can share this with everybody, COVID-19 had some unusual side effects this year. As you all know, many of these award shows went virtual, and that is what we're doing. But because we're virtual, this show is usually live. We hold it at like the Taglian Center, and it's exclusive. It's exclusive to HCA members, studio folks, celebrity, and it doesn't go out, so to speak, live for you, the movie fan, to watch. But tonight, because it is virtual, you can watch our show live. You can tune in. It's 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, and you can see all the fun. You'll see celebrities, and this is what I promise. I promise you're going to see celebrities. I promise you're going to see awards being given to up-and-comers, to folks who are very well known, and through all out, they're just creators. They're great creative folk, and I also promise that you'll have a good time. I really do. Unlike any other show or award show this season, I guarantee that you're going to have fun watching the show, and it's what I'm opening up, obviously, today's Trending in Hollywood with the Hollywood Critics Association 4th Annual Award Show. So let's get at it, because we have some really cool things to talk about. Okay, well, my God, this is great. So Yash, thank you for tuning in live. And I was just about to talk about this right now, because we have some special awards that we're giving away tonight. Yours truly is giving a special award tonight, but there are bigger things than me that are getting these great accolades and awards. First, I want to start off with Lynn Manuel Miranda. Yes, he will be receiving the Inspire Award. We're very excited about this. Also, yes, you ask, is Zack Snyder and The Rock actually accepting awards tonight? Well, let me just tell you, because I was going to go into this. So this has been in the news, and it's so crazy because the show, like I said, is not live in person like it usually is. We're going virtual, and I have to say, this virtual show is probably the HCA's biggest award show ever to this point. And you've probably seen a lot of stuff on your fan websites that you go to. Things about Lin-Manuel Miranda, deservedly accepting an Inspire Award. And we also are going to be giving the first ever, what is called the HCA Valiant Award. And this goes to Zack Snyder. And yes, Yash, he will be accepting the award. And we couldn't be more proud of this award. This was, this kind of came up, I'm going to be honest, like last minute, and it was born out of the wonderful, heartbreaking Vanity Fair piece written about Zack Snyder. And if ever a person this year, a creative, a director, writer, he's just so involved, and he loves loves the movie-going experience. If anybody deserved this, it's Zack Snyder. I mean, the man he's gone through hell and back, and he's been afforded this wonderful opportunity. Look, we all know, I'm not going to get into the drama about Justice League, but we all know what happened, and we know the reasons why. So, what's awesome is he's getting the first ever Valiant Award, and I could say, you can take part of this, okay? You could take part of this, and you can help. If you're a fan of movies, if you're a fan of Zack Snyder, and you're a fan, and you want to be part of a cause, like many of Zack Snyder's fans are. I mean, think about it. His fans are the reason why we're getting this, what was a mythical Snyder Cut. But now you have an opportunity to give to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, okay? Let me say this again. To the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. This is Zack Snyder. This is one that he contributes to, he's part of, and you can be a part of it too. I suggest you can go on the HCA website. You can click on a link. You can donate. Donate before you watch the show. Oh, by the way, you probably want to know, how can I watch the show? Demetri, you haven't said that information yet. It's really easy. YouTube, Hollywood Critics Association YouTube page. It'll be there. Also, if you follow Hollywood Critics Association on Facebook, you can watch it there too. But you can give. You have the opportunity to not only watch the show, but you too can be valiant, right? And I just think it's amazing. And I really think that the man who loves fans and loves movies, I'm getting emotional because he really does love the movies. And he loves creating, and he's suffered this tragedy. So I think it's amazing. And if you've ever seen Zack in an interview talking about any of his movies, he does it with such excitement. It's infectious. So he gets the Valiant Award tonight. You too can be valiant. So I highly recommend you donate while watching or before you watch. Give whatever you can. $10, 15, 20. This is for suicide prevention. Every little bit counts. So, moving on from Zack Snyder, the other big news that came out is that, yes, Yash, I can honestly say that The Rock is going to be accepting an award, a Trailblazer Award. I mean, who better to deserve this year a Trailblazer Award other than Dwayne Johnson, otherwise known as The Rock? Think about his movie career. Think about how he started, and he's done everything pretty much right? He from taking like, trying to take the mantle from, say, like the likes of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he slowly has risen to where he is today. I always say of The Rock, because he's like around everywhere in almost every movie, it's like, I'd like to see the list of movies he says no to. I mean, I honestly don't know how he makes so many movies. And for a movie-going audience, his movies are generally great entertainment throughout the summer, throughout the holiday season. He really has been a trailblazer in Hollywood. And being someone who's been privileged enough to go to shows like CinemaCon, I mean, where he will always show up. He is the consummate showman. He will promote a movie. So any studio that works with him, you got him in for the 100%. And he will go and he will help you sell that movie. And he'll do it with a smile. He does it with great bravado. And he does it with, he's a gentleman. He's great. And he loves doing it. So he gets the Trailblazer Award. I think that is amazing. Again, you could tune in. Hollywood Critics Association. Go to the YouTube page. It's 5 p.m. Pacific Standard, meaning if you're in the East Coast, it would be 8 o'clock, if my math is correct. If you were in Hawaii, it would be 2 o'clock. Check my math on that. If you're anywhere else in the world, hey, well, you'll have to figure out the math. So there you go. And Yash, yes, Scott is such a great dude. Really respect. I respect his. Well, I respect his friendship and his ability to lead the HCA. And he's turned HCA. He and his wife and the members of the board, along with President Nestor, they've really this year, amidst a pandemic, and we're putting on, it's going to be the HCA's biggest show. So I really appreciate your comment, Seth. Thank you very much for the applause. I'm sure it's not for me. I'm sure it's for The Rock or Zack Snyder or Lynn, Manuel, Miranda, or just the 4th annual award show. So let's move on. I'm gonna go into talking about, movies. Okay. And it's the news I think you should be paying attention to. This is the whole purpose of the show, is trending in Hollywood. Not anything to do with rumors, romance, who dumped who, who's wearing what. No. This is really about news you should, as a movie fan, focus to, that you might not, that might just not be in your radar, but it affects you, the movie fan, in one way, shape, or form. So this past week, there was a lot of exhibition news to come out. Pardon me, that was the pause that refreshes. So, and one of the big things that a lot of people were like, what? Oh my God, there was concern. Alamo Drafthouse. Now, Alamo Drafthouse is not, let's just say, commonly known, because they're only in select locations. They were born out of Austin, Texas. Heck, it was only just last year that they opened up a theater here in Los Angeles. A very nice theater, by the way. In fact, I believe it was the last movie theater I went to before we went into pandemic mode. They would open up a theater in New York. I can tell you from experience regarding the Alamo Drafthouse, I had worked for a company that did data analytics, and I was part of a survey that went out. In fact, I actually drafted the report for this, and we did a survey of theater chains, customer service, the most satisfied customers, and it was the Alamo Drafthouse. And it's limited fashion, mind you, because they're not a major chain like your AMC, your Cinemarks, your Regals. It's the Alamo Drafthouse. They got the highest marks for audience and movie-going satisfaction. In fact, got to present the president of the company, Tim League, with an award. It happened in Miami, and it was great. We talked movies. Man, it's so great to talk movies with Tim League and to present him with this award. So they, unfortunately, this week, they filed for Chapter 11, which is bankruptcy. Not to fret, though. The pandemic hurt a lot of exhibitors this past year, and we are coming up on a year. And again, being that Alamo Drafthouse is not, they don't have a lot of the funds that, like, say, an AMC, Cinemark, Regal has, right? And AMC, I mean, they were in big trouble, and they're the largest theater chain in the world. So imagine how the pandemic hits on a small theater chain like Alamo Drafthouse. But the good news is they're doing this so that they can restructure. The deal will give Alamo access to incremental financing that the company says it hope will allow it to make it past the pandemic. So the company says the operation of its open theaters will not be impacted, while it undergoes the restructuring. Now, I'm reading this. This is an article from The Hollywood Reporter. So Alamo Drafthouse operates about 40 theaters in the country. It's just so I give proper credit. It's The Hollywood Reporter. The author of the article, his name is Alex Weprin. So, again, 40. It's amazing that they lasted this long, but I do believe that there's hope. And for those of you who live near an Alamo Drafthouse, don't fret. Don't fret. I think they're going to get through this. I'm always on the positive side of this movie-going experience, folks. I've talked about this a lot, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit more upcoming, because something else big is happening in the exhibition world that you should note, because it will give you hope for theaters like the Alamo Drafthouse, and that is movie theaters in New York are set to open this weekend. Okay? Movie theaters in New York are set to open this weekend after nearly a year of being closed because of the pandemic. So, of course, there's going to be limited capacity. I believe it's 25% to start. It'll also deal with, how well does New York deal with the pandemic? So, look, I think this is our sliver of hope, folks. This is our sliver of hope. Let's try to look at this on the broad base of movie going, right? We talked about this, Scott and I, last week on Trending in Hollywood, about comfort of going to back to movies. And I said, once I get vaccinated, I'm going to be comfortable doing whatever's available to me at the time, including, I hope, going back to movie theaters. So, look, vaccines are being promised. By the end of May, it's being promised that every adult, that there will be enough vaccines to cover every adult in our great United States of America. I mean, that's fantastic news. Okay, that's great news. And I've also, because I read up on this, there are some states that are already starting to lower the age. I believe there's even a place, I think it's in Arizona, that has so much vaccine, trying to get so many people to take, that they're just opening it up to anybody. And other states across the country are also lowering the range to try to get everybody vaccinated. This is going on. Summer movies are going to be happening. New York is going to be opening. They're opening today, which leads me to believe that Los Angeles won't be too far behind. This is all a good thing. So, folks, get vaccinated. I know you'll go back to the movies. Why? Why do I think people will go back to the movies? Well, something really silly happened out here, if you're a Disney person, that you know about. So, and this is tying into, why do I think people are going to go back into the movies? Well, because Disneyland, California Adventure to be specific, they're opening up California Adventure for like a food festival type of thing. They're calling it a Touch of Disney. And they're selling tickets to this event. $75. $75 for this ticketed event, okay? It's sold out. They've added more weeks. It's sold out. And just to give you a clue as to how shrewd the Mouse House is, okay? $75, it includes parking. It includes a meal ticket, for like a meal gift card for like $25, which I've gone to these festivals, and mind you, I am what they call a legacy pass holder now, but as a pass holder, I would buy a lanyard that had like coupons to get food. Look, this is tapas we're talking about. These are single serving food. Most of them are really good, and it's a really good time. They're offering $25 gift card for this. $25, I'm willing to guarantee, might get you 3 items. Might get you 3 items. No alcoholic beverage, right? But here's the deal. It also includes parking. How many people do you think are going to be driving to this event alone? How many people do you think didn't have their friends get tickets and they won't be carpooling to park at Disney? So how many people do you think who bought a $75 ticket that includes parking aren't going to be able to take advantage of the parking, but Disney will be more than happy to take your money? Shrewd. Sold out. So if that sells out, and I know that the Disney fans are rabid, I'm not going until I'm vaccinated to anything. Movie fans are rabid too. So, and it's not going to cost you $75 for your ticket. You will go once these big movies, once movies are back and you feel comfortable going. It's because of things like that Disney, that touch of Disney, or whatever they're calling it, sells out so quickly. People are itching to get out, folks, and I do believe that they're also going to be itching to get out to the movies and to do everything else that we've missed so much. So that's an example as to why I believe that people will go back to the movies out here in Los Angeles when it is afforded for them. So we had that news in New York. Now I am going to stay into the exhibition world a little bit, but I'm also going to say, Mikhail, Gloria, am I pronouncing that correctly? I hope so. I'm very happy for Zack Snyder. You say, this present is very gratifying for all work and the great action and prevent suicide. Yes, totally agree. And I wanted to thank you. And hello, you're from Chile. Oh my God, from Chile. Well, you can tune in from Chile just to watch our award show tonight and to see Zack Snyder get that award. I wanted to say, hey, hello, Chile. How are you today? I hope you're doing fine. We're doing great over here. I am in Los Angeles County. And thank you for writing. Staying in the exhibition world, I bring this up because it's going to, it goes back to a conversation Scott and I had last week. See, we like to tie things in here at Trending in Hollywood, but these things are actually trending and they do affect you. So word came out that the second largest or the third largest exhibitor in the country, Cinemark, they're not going to be playing Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon. Now, if you don't already know, Raya and the Last Dragon opens today. And if you can't go to a movie theater to watch Raya, for whatever the reason, it is on the Disney Plus, I believe they call it Premiere, which I believe it's going to cost you $20+, if not more, to watch it at home. And Cinemark, along with a couple of other exhibitors, actually, so it's a $30 purchase on this Disney Plus. And we've got Harkins Theaters and Cineplex. This is all coming from a Deadline report from Anthony D'Alessandro. So Harkins and Cineplex in Canada. Cineplex is like the biggest chain, I believe, in Canada. They're not playing Raya. Why? This one's interesting because it's not just because of breaking the theatrical window. It is because of Disney's theater rental rates for it. Now, if you recall last week, I talked at some length about theater rental. We were talking about the 45-day window and how theater rentals, especially on tentpole movies, the way that it works is that the exhibitor pays a rental fee, and it starts off, it's a percentage. So it could be like 85-15 or 90-10, 90-10, 80-20. As the movie plays on in the theater, the exhibitor, that is when the exhibitor starts to make money. at the beginning, it's studio stacked. It's when the studio makes a ton of money, especially if it's a really big movie, right? So the rental on Raya, according to this report in Deadline, is like really super high and strong, so much so that Cinemark said, no way. You don't get to charge an audience $30 to see it, and we have to pay you a rental, like a high rental fee. I don't know what that rental fee is, and I'm not going to guess because I could be very wrong, and I don't want to get in trouble. But to Cinemark and these other exhibitors, they felt it was too strong and too high. So they've declined to play Raya in its first run. I can't blame them. I honestly don't know what Disney's thinking. Again, this is the company that sells a $75 ticket that includes parking, knowing that people are going to carpool. So those people aren't taking advantage of this including parking thing, right? I just don't understand. And until exhibitors and the studios come together and work together, hey, I'm willing to help mediate this. I really am. We're going to have this kind of tug of war, and it's unnecessary. I mean, Disney should be saying, the pandemic's not your fault. We want exhibition to thrive, and they should be making some semblance of concessions. I mean, look, I understand this is a really good movie, but it's not a Marvel. It's not a Star Wars. It's not a, it's supposed to be a good flick, but I don't understand why you wouldn't negotiate with exhibitors to help them. And exhibitors should be affording some concession as well. They all just need to come to a table together and come up with a universal, let's call it a universal healthcare plan. A universal healthcare plan to save the movie-going experience. And they should be doing this together. They should be in talks about how does this help? So I talk about this because we talked about this with Paramount Plus and their 45-day window. I think it's important to stay tuned and see how this plays out. Again, movie theaters are going to be starting to open more and more and more. The more people get vaccinated, the more the COVID numbers come down. So long as we are patient and so long as we persevere and we have strength, these numbers, we will get control of it. I'm being optimistic. That's the way I like to be. So those are all of the exhibition news that we have going on. I talked about HCA. I guess next up I can be talking about, there's a movie that's not necessarily playing at a theater near you. It has a history. There is a history to this movie. It was supposed to come out to a theater, but it debuts today. I'll talk a little bit about it on Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, you can see Coming to America. That's Coming the number to America. Boy, how clever. So, the movie was supposed to be released theatrically via Paramount. Paramount released the original movie, and just to great success. It took this long to make a sequel. So I have to, a little bit of history. In the early 80s, Eddie Murphy was like, he was a box office king. Coming from Saturday Night Live, 48 Hours was an amazing sleeper hit, and it really exploded him into the silver screen and movie-going audiences. And then when you had movies like Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop, and then Coming to America, I mean, that's an amazing set of movies right there. Right there. And Coming to America was his second collaboration with director John Landis, who knew how to direct I think he really knew how to direct Eddie Murphy, get the best out of him. He also knew how to direct music numbers as well, because there are some big dance numbers in Coming to America. So, this one is not directed by John Landis. I did get to see Coming to America. And again, that's coming the number 2 America to signify a sequel. And here's what I have to say. So if you're a movie fan, as I was, I don't know when, you started watching movies and such, but, that, remember those direct-to-video sequels that were made? They're still being made today to an extent, but back in the 80s and 90s, they were huge, and they were direct-to-VHS, and there were sequels. And the only thing in common it had with the original was usually the title, okay? And everything else in the movie, it didn't have that cast. It didn't have the original cast. Hell, even Disney made these direct-to-video sequels. They didn't use the same voice cast, and you could tell, right? So for me, sadly, that's what Coming to America 2 feels like, except it's only made worse because most of the surviving original cast is back. But to me, the movie looked cheap. The jokes are cheap. They're lamer. I mean, they're tamer. This movie is PG-13. This PG-13, Coming to America, an Eddie Murphy movie. And I got to be honest, I was rooting for the sequel to work. I think Coming to America is an excellent, great comedy. And I believe it still holds up today. Is some of the comedy dated? Well, you could say that, but here's the thing about comedy and irreverence, right? That stuff wasn't necessarily, let's say, accepted back then. You knew that certain jokes are like wrong, but that's what made them funny. All right. Irreverence can be funny. We know anybody who has a good moral compass knows the difference between right and wrong. And it could be shocking, but shocking is funny. Mel Brooks made a career out of doing that. Okay. So yes, I still think that Coming to America, the original, is equally as funny today, as when I first saw it. It's an excellent comedy, and it's one of Eddie Murphy's best. So I was rooting for this. I didn't think the trailer was miserable, and I really had hoped. I mean, after Dolomite Is My Name, which whether I wasn't as a big a fan as a lot of other people were, I liked the movie enough, but it was great to see Eddie Murphy being Eddie Murphy. He was raw. He was great, along with the cast around him. And those are the instances that I appreciated about Dolomite. And I thought, great, Coming to America. I was hoping this is going to secure Eddie Murphy's comeback. I couldn't wait. I really was looking forward to it. And unfortunately, going first 15 minutes in, for me, all my hopes and dreams were dashed. Being that it had been 33 years since we last saw Prince Akeem. And I'm just going to say this. I won't go into my full review. That'll be coming out a little bit later. But I do believe that the PG-13 is a major hindrance in many ways. Number one, first and foremost, Coming to America, the original, it's not a family film. It wasn't meant to be a family film. People weren't afraid to go to a rated R movie. Comedy really was king in the 80s. You had the likes of Eddie Murphy. Hell, even in the early 80s, Richard Pryor, they were releasing comedy sets at movie theaters, live on Sunset Strip, raw. I mean, these are great things. But comedy ruled. We got Sam Kinison. We even had Andrew Dice Clay, the likes of Stephen Wright, Billy Crystal, who was very clean, granted. But there was irreverence in comedy, and there was so much of it, and that's what made it great. Rodney Dangerfield. So when you have the likes of an Eddie Murphy, you watched a Beverly Hills Cop or Coming to America or Trading Places, in part because Eddie Murphy was able to be Eddie Murphy. And the directors knew how to capture that spirit in him. When you handcuff somebody like Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall and everybody else in that cast, it shows. And to give you an example, and I'm not like giving a plot point away, there is a scene in which Eddie Murphy, as Akeem says, "I am the MFing King of Zamunda." And MFing. I rolled my eyes and my shoulders came flat. I put my head down. I was saddened. Even when they played their alter egos, Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy in the barbershop guys are back. They're probably some of the funniest scenes, but they two are tethered. They look into a camera as they're about to say a bad word and they can't say it because it's PG-13. The minister that Arsenio Hall plays, he can't be as irreverent because it's PG-13. To me, that was a major hindrance of the movie. It really was. There were other things that I wasn't a big fan of. Look, most of the surviving cast is back from a nostalgia standpoint. It was kind of fun to see McDowell's and Zamunda. But I just have to say, I did not appreciate the PG-13 aspect of the movie. I really felt that it was evident. And Craig Brewer, the same guy that directed Dolomite, directed Coming to America. So I had hoped that he got it, but they didn't. And it to see them, like I said, I used the word handcuffed because that's what they were. They couldn't be irreverent. And the movie tried to take a cause, and it was kind of all over the place for what it wanted to stand up for. And it was shocking as to what it didn't stand up for as well, other than just try to be a good, fun comedy for everybody. I mean, look, Coming to America is rated R, but by today's standards, it's a pretty light R. I think you would agree with me. I found no reason that Coming to America, this sequel, couldn't have been rated R and allow its stars to be unfettered and to be funny. This is what we're used to. And this is how people can remember Eddie Murphy and being it. Coming to America didn't need to be a family movie for people to sit around and have their popcorn. Yeah, have your popcorn, have a good time. It's up to you. It's to what you let your kids watch. I'm not going to be that person, but it should have been rated R. And I found that to be very obvious when it wasn't rated R, and it should have been. When Eddie Murphy literally says the word MFing, that just made me sad and angry. And it led me to say that the movie itself made me angry, and I have to cover this up because this is on YouTube and I don't want to get kicked off. See, YouTube has rules. So I will give you 5 guesses. We're not going to count 4 of them as to what finger I have up right now because Coming to America made me angry. And on that note, I got to get ready for this HCA Awards show tonight. Again, it's the 4th annual Hollywood Critics Association award show. I could tell you the award that I'm giving out, but that would ruin the surprise. And actually, if you go onto the Hollywood Critics Association website, which is hollywoodcriticsassociation.com, it is one of the specialty awards. And I will say this, it's a oh my God, I'm so thrilled, and it's an honor. I get to give the award to the director of my favorite movie this year. And if you've been paying attention at all, you would know what that is. But I'm just so excited, and I'm honored. I'm honored to be part of HCA. I'm honored that you folks stuck in with me. Thank you very much, especially coming in all the way from Chile. Hey, that's amazing. And I just wanted to say thank you. And Scott, please don't be burning that candle at both ends. It's going to be a great show. To everybody at the HCA, hello, kudos. Can't wait to see everybody tonight. I hope that you tune in Seriously, this won't be like the Golden Globes or these other award shows. I like I said, I guarantee it'll be a good time, and you're going to see some celebrities. And I also, without giving anything away, I think you're going to see some very heartfelt acceptance speeches today that'll make you appreciate the creators, these creatives. And it'll make you even bigger fans of movies, and that we all long to go back and have that awesome, amazing movie-going experience. So listen, I thank you for tuning in. Please tune in tonight, whatever your time zone may be. Hollywood Critics Association 4th Annual Award Show on the HCA YouTube channel or the HCA Facebook if you follow us there. Thank you for listening today. At Demetri Panos, you can follow me on the Twitters and the Instagram. Appreciate it very much. Scott, missed you very, very much today. Missed the conversation. Can't wait for you to come back so we can do this all over again next week, right here on Trending in Hollywood. Bye, folks. Take care. Bye.